During the previous weeks, we discussed how we use our mindfulness of breathing as a place from which we can do certain observations. In MIDL number 13, we started out by observing the elemental qualities. And that's actually what Deb was talking about in a practice. She's doing that as a practice. So what we do is we sit down and we make the intention when we sit down and do mindfulness of breathing. During this meditation practice, I'm going to become sensitive to the different elemental qualities in everything. So you see how you can apply that in your meditation. You sit down, become aware of what it feels like to just be here in the room, just simply like that. You see if you can notice the different elemental qualities within that experience. The easier ones are maybe the warmth or coolness in your body, the touch of the air on your skin. You might be able to feel different elemental qualities there. Maybe you can feel it in the sounds or within thoughts. You just pay attention to that. Then you bring your awareness into your body. We ground awareness in our body. Again, pay attention to the different elemental qualities in that experience, in the touch, that pressure, yeah, hardness, softness, maybe heaviness if you relax. Maybe the restlessness of your mind at this stage also has an elemental quality to it, does it? It does? Hannah? Yeah? Yeah, the movement. Fantastic. So we do it like that. Then we move into mindfulness of breathing, breath coming in and out. But again, as we become more intimate with the breath, we start to pay attention to those elemental qualities. See if you can pick out the different elements. The movement, the warmth, the coolness, the pressure, yeah? Whatever you notice within that breath. So this is the way you practice that. And then when your attention moves, maybe you can notice it within your thinking, in your remembering, in your worrying, in your planning. If you're frustrated in your meditation practice, this is a common one that people have. Maybe you can notice the elemental qualities of that frustration. So this is the way we apply it. MIDL number 14, we were concerned with perception. And perception is the overlay that the mind places over the top of things. Yeah? The idea that you're sitting here, you might feel the shape or the border of your body. When you sit down to practice your mindfulness of breathing, starting out grounding, becoming present, and then notice how there's a feeling of a border between your body and the room. Look at the border between the touch of your hands. See if you actually really observe that border, what happens? Do you lose that perception of the hands as being separate? Maybe you lose the perception of your body being separate with the room. Maybe if you look at perception, these borders, you may find that they disappear and you can't find where your body ends and the floor or the chair begins. Yeah? So you look at it this way, breathing coming in and out. When you're practicing that mindfulness of breathing, is there an idea that you're breathing? Is there an idea of the breath as being separate from your body? Or can you notice it just as a flow of sensations, separate from that idea? Notice how your mind puts layers on top of thinking. Notice when you hear a sound, you hear a bird, and then you make a comment on that bird. You have the perception coming up and so on. Or maybe it's an unpleasant sound that's disturbing you. And the first one is you hear the sound and it's like, the second one is, can't they be quiet just this one time? This is my meditation time. They know I'm meditating. Are they being noisy on purpose? And so on. So we can see how the mind layers these things on top. We can observe it. We develop understanding. Can anyone remember what we were talking about last week? MIDL number 15. Just as well I'm here. Well, Deb would know. Okay, so basically what we did is we brought in the next investigation in MIDL. So MIDL number 15 is concerned with observing attention move. So when you sit down to practice your mindfulness of breathing, it's during this meditation practice, I'm going to take interest in every time my attention moves away from my meditation object, just in the aspect of movement itself. At this stage, where your attention moved to isn't relevant. You just say, during this time, I'm going to observe my attention move. Let's see if we can do that now. Just closing your eyes over, taking a gentle breath in, slowly out, relax. Becoming very aware of your body. Aware of the flow of the breath in your body. And while you're being mindful of the flow of that breath in your body, you intentionally see if you can observe anytime your attention is drawn away from that breath. Maybe you can notice little flickerings of your attention. Maybe you can notice your attention drawn out to sounds. And you can open your eyes. So what did you notice? Did anyone notice a kind of bleeding of awareness? What I mean by that is you're aware of the breath coming in and out in your body. And there's kind of like a bleeding or a fading of awareness, or awareness slowly getting drawn out. Did anyone notice that? Linda mentioned it the other week. No? What did you experience then? How did you experience it? Did your attention move at all?
Yes.
Yeah? How was that experience? What did you feel? Did you notice anything?
I felt it jump out very quickly, but I was aware of it, like it happened very quick, but it immediately.
Oh, so yours kind of jumped out and it kind of came back by itself.
Yeah.
Did anyone else experience that?
It was like a step process, like with the sound. It jumped out to the sound, and then I pictured what sound I gave a picture to that sound, and then I came back, like as if I had to recognize that sound, put a picture in.
You gave it, or your mind gave it?
My mind gave it, yeah.
Yeah, so that's perception.
Yeah.
Notice how we're adding these layers of investigation, but we can see the other ones.
We heard a sound, but then perception went, oh, that's a magpie, and a picture of a
You literally
magpie
see,
came up.
isn't that interesting? This is what the mind's doing all the time.
We don't actually know that it was a magpie.
No. Yeah. And then it's those thought images that are thrown up like sparks out of a fire that have the potential to start a fire. In other words, start thinking. Sorry?
I had more fires.
You had fires, did you? Lots of sparks.
It was completely
Separate fires. They started fires everywhere. Yeah, so you can see how this works. Now, when it's quickly bouncing, attention's quickly bouncing like that, does it have a physicality to it?
Mm.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? You can literally feel it bouncing, almost like a ball bouncing off a wall. And there's actually a pull back. But sometimes you might find, did anyone find this, the attention bounces out, but it didn't come back. and you had to bring it back. Yeah, there you go. Awesome. Yeah, so this is things that we notice by observing attention in this way. And so do that, bring that into your meditation practice. Whenever you sit down to meditate, don't just sit down to meditate. Say, during this meditation session, I'm going to focus on ... Now, this might be on being more mindful. So at first, it might be just remembering what you're doing, or it might be remembering what you're experiencing, putting that effort towards that mindfulness aspect. But it might be more towards calming the mind, calming that restlessness, calming that agitation, softening, relaxing that effort, allowing those energy levels to come down. Another aspect we can bring is awareness has an alignment. And what I mean by alignment of awareness is when we're experiencing something present here now, there's an alignment or an accuracy of that awareness. Often we think we're experiencing the present experience, but awareness can be slightly lagged behind, or it can be slightly reaching ahead. It's not quite on the actual experience, even though it seems like it is. And it's in these two states that it's more likely to get lost into some sort of thinking or commentary. It's a matter of playing with that accuracy. It's like putting that effort to really be present with the change, the flow of your experience of being here. It's constantly changing. It's constantly flowing. It's doing that right now. It's almost like, though this is a concept, you can feel the flow of time. But when you're really aligned with that, the flow of time disappears, or the concept of time disappears altogether. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. Play with that alignment. So that's what you could do. You could work with these different things. Or in the MIDL trainings, mindfulness trainings, we're offering different investigations you can do. Number 13, elemental qualities. 14, perception. 15, movement of attention, habitual movement of attention. All of these will cultivate your mindfulness, momentary concentration, and all of these will cultivate wisdom. This week, I'd like us to take that movement of attention. So this will be good for you, Hannah. We'll take that movement of attention. And what we're going to do, instead of taking interest in, noticing your attention move, I'd like you now to take interest in, where do your attention move to? Yeah? So we're not taking so much interest in the movement itself, we're taking interest into acknowledging where the attention's moved to. And so at this stage, what I'd like you to do, wherever your attention moves to, I'd just like you to use a simple silent word to describe that. Just simple. Thinking, remembering, planning, listening, whatever, yeah? Just a simple one. Itching, just a simple word to describe where your attention went to. So we're not interested in the movement now. We're becoming very accurate. We're interested in, where did the attention go to? And I'd be like you to share with me what happened when you acknowledged that, or when you were able to acknowledge that, and how long it took to happen. You ready for it, Corey?
I'm ready.
Corey's ready. Fantastic. Okay, let's just try this as a short meditation again, just so we get that feel. Again, we move into mindfulness of breathing. Eyes closed over gently, bringing your awareness into your body. Becoming very aware of your body, very present. Just relaxing into your body until you feel that flow of the breath within your body. keeping that flow, that change of the breath gently in mind. And if your attention moves away from your breathing, away from your body, just use a simple word to describe where it moved to. Relax and come back to your body and your breathing. And you can open your eyes. So was that possible? Is it possible to pay attention to where your attention moved to rather than the movement itself? Notice if we create an intention at the beginning of our meditation when we're doing it, that what will become more clear is what we created that intention about. So we can actually change or direct the accuracy of our attention, and we can actually change what we see with these little intentions at the beginning. So what did I have? I had hearing, yeah. I also had telling and remembering and planning, yeah. And the thoughts that came up, they didn't last for very long. Some of them for like really micro periods of time, I just completely got lost. It was like, oh, back out again, like this. But it was like little flickerings and little loss. Yeah. Anybody like to share what they did? Long loss?
I got lost a bit longer.
Yeah, fantastic. But is that interesting in itself?
What I thought was interesting was I got lost, but then not enough that I couldn't remember to give it a label, so I'd be lost. But then at some stage I'll be, oh, that's that.
So your mindfulness return. So you're lost and then a return, but for longer periods of time. That's okay too.
Yeah.
Take interest in, when that happens to me, I find it really interesting how I can decide, okay, I'm going to be here with this in-breath and this out-breath, and I'm going to observe this. And that sometime I don't even notice that I forgot that I was meditating. Don't even notice. Just get caught up in this thought. So I didn't even notice the transition. So something changed. Something shifted. It had to. And then the next thing I know, I'm suddenly aware, oh, I've been lost. Planning, remembering, and then come back. But what this is all about is it's about clarifying or making it really clear how our attention habitually moves and how quickly and how easily we lose the ability to be aware of being aware. We literally forget that we're meditating. We literally lose that awareness. That is interesting. That's what these investigations are designed to help you see. So whether you get lost in thoughts or not, it doesn't matter. The thing is, be interested in that forgetting and that remembering, because that mindfulness coming back, we're not doing that either. It's coming back up by itself. And that's when you get the momentum of the mindfulness, the momentum of remembering what you're doing, of being really aware of your present experience, that you need to really go for it. That's where you put your effort in trying to have that continuity of that mindfulness, that alignment of awareness with the present experience. Keep following that flow of change, staying as present as you can, because eventually it will collapse. But it's that effort that you're putting in to that present awareness, of really being aware of what's going on, that will actually create the payday where the mindfulness will habitually return by itself. If you don't put that effort into that, if you just keep forgetting and coming back, then the momentum of the mindfulness will not increase, and it will just be the same meditation practice generally for the next 50 years or whatever. We've got to be careful of that. So when we're present, that's when we put the effort in. That's when we row the boat. When we forget, there's not much we can do about it until we come back again, just like that. Fantastic. So this week's training is MIDL, mindfulness meditation, number 16 of 52. It's observing attention move to, but it's more concerned with where the attention has moved towards, where it's landed on, rather than the movement itself. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Take care and have a wonderful week, and goodbye, and thank you. Thank you.